Hello Internet, and welcome to my live reaction for One Piece Chapter 1057. When we last left our heroes, we spent a little bit of time setting up what's next for a lot of the players in Wano, specifically Orochi and Nekomamushi, who are sort of staying behind in Wano to serve as Momo's retainers, and they're leaving Carrot to run Zou, which is this nice little, sense of the new generation taking their place in the world. And then we also have, we have Sukiyaki revealing himself to his grandchildren. We have the rest of the Straw Hats learning about Pluton being in Wano. And then it's time to sort of start heading out. We see the three crews at the port about to leave. Momo and Kinemon unhappy that they apparently said goodbye to everyone except the two of them, so they're headed out there too. The three captains set their new destinations. We learn what Buggy's been up to. He's formed the Cross Guild with Mihawk and Crocodile, which, what a fucking team, to give bounties to Marines, which is very interesting. And then we sort of see one last bit of Yamato announcing his intention to be like Odin and leave Wano, which is strange that he's not with the Straw Hats, but okay. So with that said, let's dive right on into Chapter 1057, The End, which I do believe is going to be the last chapter of the Wano Arc. But before that, German 66's An Emotionless Excursion, Volume 16, Caesar's Poison Gas Attack. Caesar is attacking, I'm guessing, both sides of the Germa Big Mom conflict here. I don't think he really has a preference for who dies here. But we open, I believe, in a way similar to the first chapter of Wano, if I could go back and look at that, with a shot of the flower capital, the shamisen playing, with a song. Oh, the sky was dark, as the tempest blew o'er Yano Gashima, and the blue dragon's bellows had every beast a howling, while in the port of Habu, sheets of autumn rain beset the crimson maple curtain. This is the story of the loyal samurai vassals, who fought bravely to avenge the death of Kozuki Odin. Yo, Akazaya! And I, your humble narrator, will attempt to do justice to the tale. We begin on the evening of the Fire Festival. And so I think, did this, I know that sort of the play format, was kind of, from a meta standpoint, the way the arc was structured with the three acts. I forget if Wano opened with a scene like this, too. It might have. It's just been so many years since Wano started. The woods of Tokage Port, Udon. What? You're not going out to sea? Is that right, Yamato? Right. No. Let Yamato join the crew. What was the point of all that? What was the point? I wanted Yamato to join. I'm really disappointed. I love him. But apparently, I've already told Luffy and his friends that I'm not going. That just breaks my heart, Yamato. And Kinemon is just shocked. You're really staying here, Yamato? Is that a bad thing? No, it would be wonderful. But you said you had made up your mind earlier, so I assumed... Oh, that. Well, Odin started his travels by walking about the country, didn't he? I know so little about the world just like him. So I'll follow the same path. And eventually, it will take me out to sea. Okay, so that's I don't know. Let him do that before he joins, before the Straw Hats leave? I just want him to be a Straw Hat. I'm really disappointed. They've been building up Yamato as a crew member for, a year and more, almost 2 years now. And Kinemon comments, my word, and you already cleared this up with Luffy and his crew? And Momo is just mad, still upset at not getting a goodbye from the Straw Hats. But that just makes it worse. Why must they humiliate me so? Why would they leave without a word to me? And he flashes back first to being dangled over the balcony by Kaido. What is your name? Your father is a fool of a lord. And I guess meeting Luffy all the way back at Punk Hazard. Who are you? I'm Luffy. I'm been fighting at Punk Hazard. So what if you're a warrior? I'm gonna be the king of the pirates one day, so there! In that case, I will one day rise to become the Shogun of Wano, you fool. What was that, eel? Bow before me, ape. Actually, was this an actual scene, or is this just sort of, like, I don't know, some part of Luffy's imagination? I'm not sure. No, this is various flashbacks. Another later scene, as I forget what scene this is. What are you, Momo? Just a figurehead? You're just gonna stand there and cry? And Momo tells him, I want to defeat Kaido. Let's team up. It's an alliance. And then we see a later flashback of Momo being captured by Kanjuro. Luffy! And Luffy tells him as he's being carried away, for such a cowardly, dumb little brat. You're just a kid with a top knot who's all talk. Find a way to survive. We'll go and rescue you. Because we're pals. I don't remember Luffy being this, like, callous to Momo. It's not entirely out of character for him. But I'm curious, I don't have the scenes on me, so I can't really go back and check. But, like, it might be more Momo is remembering these in a certain way because he feels slighted by Luffy here. I don't know. This I do remember. Momo's torture at the hands of Kaido. I ask you one more time, boy. What is your name? And Momo, beaten, bloodied, bruised, Kozuki Momonosuke, the man who will be Shogun of Wano. And then right after he grew up, him talking to Luffy, then go, you can fly. Yeah, go and stop Onigashima. Don't worry about Kaido. I guarantee you I'll win. And back in the present, Momo is still hurt. We may not have been the best of friends, but after that long journey, oh boy, has it been a long journey, a good decade of real-world time. Which, you know, I mentioned last chapter, the way this sort of feels like an echo of, on some level, the Vivi goodbye. You know, there's a lot of differences, but the focus on that long journey is very in line with Vivi. After that long journey, do I really mean nothing to you? You're a cold man, Luffy. I thought you were better than this. Don't mistake rudeness for independence. Am I wrong, Kinemon? You're exactly right, Lord Momonosuke, but, why aren't we flying? And Momo, I guess he's so up in himself that he can't really fly right now, just yells, silence! Which, like, you know, that's one of the big differences between this and the Vivi thing, is that, like, you know, with the Vivi thing, that coldness was sort of planned. Like, they couldn't go to her because the Marines were watching, but the whole meetup was a plan with Vivi. It's the opposite here. But Kinemon tells Momo, you are now the true Shogun of Wano, Lord Momonosuke. If Luffy does not watch his words, I may have no choice but to cut him down. And Momo agrees, yes, the way of the warrior demands it. I thought you said we were friends, Luffy. And Yamato's just like, come on, guys, you don't have to be that mad about it. He humiliated me, and now he must pay the price. First I'll hit him, and then I'll bite him. And then we reach the port at Udon, Tokage Port, where all the ships are about to take off. As Law tells the other captains, if we ever run into each other again out there, we're total enemies. If people die, so be it. And Luffy's real casual about the idea of his crew, of people potentially dying here. I don't think he thinks that's going to happen, but he's just like, yeah, totally. And Chopper calls, see you later, Trappy. Shut up. And Kid is ignoring this whole fight. Come on, let's ship out. Aww. And the crews all head out. And as the Straw Hats at long last bid their final farewell to Wano, they hear a voice, y'all know whose voice it is, calling out, hey, wait! And Luffy sees them with a happy little, oh, there you are! And Momo is furious. Yamato gives him this friendly little wave. Hey guys, we came to see you off. Momonosuke, Kinemon, Yamato. And Momo is just, like, furious. As he, like, comes out of his human form. It looks like Luffy's actually still on shore at this point. Like, the ship, the Thousand Sunny is not taken off quite yet. But anyway. Momo sees him and yells out, Luffy! And tackles him. Yamato, too. I've got you now! And Yamato gets a little heart. Luffy! Ah! And Momo yelling at him, or I think it's Kinemon yelling. No, this is Momo yelling. Luffy, what do you think you're doing? We've been with you longer than anyone. You're going to leave without a word to us? And Kinemon adds in, the Shogun is furious with you. Explain yourself, you cretin. And Luffy does not really care. You're here now, aren't you? But Momo is just furious. Luffy, this is an order from the Shogun. And we're reminded that he is still at heart an 8-year-old boy as he just sobs. Don't leave me. I'll miss you so much. Please stay with me forever. I don't want to say goodbye. And Luffy seemed a little peeved that he has to be in this situation. Kinemon has this face like he saw this reaction coming. And Momo continues to bow before Luffy. It was because of all of you that I survived. It was because of all of you that I was able to laugh and smile. You avenged my father and my mother. I cannot thank you enough. I'm too stupid. I don't have the words to express my feelings, but I'm scared of what is ahead. So this is, and we see Frankie in the background just weeping at Momo's admission here. You know, while I find the little giant crying panel to be a little cheesy or a little it kind of cuts into the sentiment of this moment. Now that we're here, now that we're at just Momo expressing how much the Straw Hats have meant to him over the past few weeks in universe, because time. This is the stuff that just sort of hits. And he just continues, please don't go. And Zoro almost insulting. This is pathetic, man. But Nami fighting back a tear. Momo can't help it. He's still just a little boy. And Luffy calls out, Usopp. I got it right here. I don't know what he has. But he throws something at Momo that covers his eyes. And Luffy just tells him, I don't know what this is. We were waiting to give you that. Ha! Some shogun you are, Momo. You might be bigger now, but we know who you are inside. And Momo looks at him confused. You're an idiot and a coward and a weakling. That's a little rude. But I think of you like a little brother. And Momo stops at that, and he unfolds it, and it's the Straw Hats. The Straw Hat flag. It's a flag? When times are hard, just remember our adventures at sea. Fly this flag over Wano. If anyone shows up causing trouble, let them see it. They'll know that if anyone messes with my crew, they're picking a fight with us. So this is... It's actually to go back to that Vivi scene, because it kind of distinctly feels like, you know, I was pointing out opposite parallels with the Vivi scene earlier, with the fact that they didn't plan this out in Momo in advance like they did with Vivi, and during the Vivi scene they could not let the Marines know that Vivi had a connection to the Straw Hats. Here's the exact opposite. Here he's saying, you are one of us. Let the world know. It's also Luffy sort of stepping into his role as emperor. Much like other emperors have done with their sort of protectorate islands, Luffy is declaring Wano under the protection of the Straw Hats. Officially, eternally, they're I'm not sure subordinate is the right word. I certainly don't think Luffy would see it as subordinate. But I don't know, I'm finding the parallels between here and the Vivi scene at the end of Alabasta really interesting, mostly. And also Luffy stepping into his role as a Yonko. But Momo just asks, you'd call me one of you? And Luffy goes on, Kinemon, Yamato, Momo! And we see Kinemon and Yamato laughing, and Yamato's, yes! And Luffy goes on, you ever want to be pirates? Just say the word and we'll come right along and pick you up. Please pick Yamato up before the end of the series. I want him to be a Straw Hat so bad. But we don't let weaklings on the ship. And Momo tries to collect himself. I know. Watch out for him, Yamato. And Yamato calls back, I will. Set sail. Keep it together, Shogun. You can do it, Momonosuke. And we just see the three of them, the three guardians of Wano, watching the Straw Hats leave at long last. And Momo turns to Kinemon. Kinemon, yes? Someday, in the future, I will surpass Kozuki Oden. And Kinemon just grins, and I'll be there to witness it. And Yamato just asks, me? No! And that's one thing I do wish we had gotten to see with Yamato's character arc. him sort of moving beyond the Odin identity, being Yamato, the son of Kaido, alone, and not relying on the Odin identity in the end. But whatever. When Yamato returns, we'll get that, I hope. But anyway, now we're on the Sunny, the whole crew on the Sunny, for what I do believe may be the first time since Dressrosa? Right? Like, the Luffy gang did not take the Sunny to Zou, and they were already split by then at the end of Dressrosa. I'm trying to think of a time the crew would be together on the Sunny since Sanji had to take Caesar on ahead to get him away from Doflamingo 300 plus chapters ago. Sometime when I was in, like, high school, which, God, time has passed. Time has passed. But Nami is, like, reading the charts. Alright, on to Hakumai. That's where the formal port is. So we can take the lift down. Which, actually, we have Brooks' line. What a relief. I thought we had to crash down the falls the same way we came in. And Chopper tells him, yeah, this sounds better. But the thing that I'm thinking about there is, I've been pointing out all these parallels to tip of my tongue, to Vivi, right? Thinking about these parallels to Vivi, but also the whole ending with the ship having to fall back to Earth, that's very Skypiea. Along with sort of, the poneglyph stuff we've learned here that was also, featured in Skypiea, as I recall. There's a bit of a Skypiea callback. Like I don't think the whole arc is like an echo of Skypiea. Like, I'd argue it could potentially be read as an echo of Alabasta. But it's still there. It's interesting. And Kid hears that. Oh, you're going for the proper port, huh? Good idea. It's so safe and secure. Ha ha ha. Just right for a couple of losers. And he has pushed their buttons in just the right way. Both Luffy and Law. Safe, secure. And I think this is Usopp trying to beg him. Luffy, hello? Don't listen to him. Safe is good. Hey, Captain, what's with that look what's with that look in your eyes? Let's just take the regular port. But Luffy is gung-ho, not taking the regular port. Give me the wheel, Jinbei. Luffy, no. And they all jump off the waterfall together. Don't do this. Please, I don't want to die. Rah! And as they fall, we get the narrator of what I believe is going to be the last time of the Wano Arc. Oh no, this is the same. I think this is the theater guy from the start of the chapter. But the charismatic Lord Momonosuke and Kinemon recruited mighty brigands to fight at their side. They led a tremendous charge and battled like true guardian deities. Neither Kaido the Dragon King, nor the great ghastly Oiron could compete. Their death screams split the sky. Is that, we don't technically know if Kaido and Big Mom are dead, but certainly he thinks they are, the theater guy. Meanwhile, Orochi, whom all thought burned to death, lived on through sheer malevolence to attack Princess Hiyori. But lo, slice! Who should come to cut the beast in twain but the second of Kozuki Oden's faithful followers, Denjiro? And just like the black coal of his family name, the final head of Kurozumi Orochi burned to a crisp. The shamisen continues playing as the audience watches with rapt attention. Also, I believe that's a Panda Man sighting there. I never get Panda Man sightings, but I think that's him. With a great bellow of thunder, Onigashima and Kaido the Dragon King plummeted to the earth. At last, the storm clouds that covered Wano for over 20 years began to clear away. But then, with the chants and festivities of the flower capital in the background, dun, hard as it may be to believe, there stood Orochi, burning and baleful. And he said, "The wrath of the Kurozumi clan will curse this country unto its last generation." I don't remember this part, but there was this image of Hiyori. But the fair princess had witnessed 20 years of Wano's suffering. Her gaze was unwavering. "Be careful, princess," said Denjiro. But she pushed this is before the island has fallen, the last bit of the battle. Which I still don't think we actually saw. But she pushed the samurai's arm aside. And then our Princess Hiyori stood her ground and delivered her verdict unto the burning Orochi. In her hand, the fan bearing the Kozuki seal. On her lips, the memories of 20 years, thinking of father, mother, brother, and country. She spoke, and the crowd goes wild. Yo, here it comes! And the speaker says, say it with me, everyone. Kurozumi was born to burn. And we have the flashback to Odin was born to boil. As the Orochi of the story burns away, the crowd goes wild. I don't remember that actually happening in Onigashima. I'm not sure it did. But that's the sort of like literary liberties a good writer should take when recounting a war story like that. That's some good parallels. Like, quality fucking shit right there. That's what I'll say. Second hour of the birth, and this is like the song part. We see Toko's also playing as Kiku is watching. Second hour of the birth, the fire festival. Waning crescent moons gather at the lonely port at night. A tale of wondrous valor and daring revenge. The hoped-for day come at last, for the great and noble clan stands tall once again. Yo! This has been the saga of mighty samurai, regaining their lost glory to shine as before. And we see all the scabbards and Yamato and Momo and Shinobu, or the surviving scabbards, sitting together, and Tama also, as they have regained their kingdom. That's all the time we have today. While our ways might part for now, and as the Momo trio comes back to the capital, they're greeted, Lord Momonosuke, Lord Shogun, as Momo wonders, so where shall we fly this flag? May our paths cross again, someday, somewhere. And the curtains close. The end. To be continued. Okay. Farewell to Wano. And so for the first time in all the years I've been with this series, I don't know what's coming next. I have no idea where we're headed. Ain't that fucking exciting? So yeah, this chapter was great. Chapter was so good. You know, so like all of the great parallels to the Vivi stuff, the way it's kind of an anti-Vivi scene, both in how little Momo and Kinemon were told, and the way that like Luffy tells them to stand tall, in regards to their allegiance to the Straw Hats, along with also the fact they actually get to talk here, whereas with Vivi they didn't. Like, it's just a sweet scene all around. A great farewell to One Piece's biggest arc. Because it genuinely does not feel real to say that the Wano arc is over. But, like, definitively, it is. Ending the way it began with this sort of play conceit. The curtains close on Wano. There's some great dramatic liberties in the death of Orochi with Kurozumi was born to burn. Which is just a damn good line for Hiyori to even get an imaginary Hiyori saying. But like, this chapter is funny, it's heartfelt, it's an emotional peak, it's got great callback to some of the series' greatest moments, and it stands among them. You know, it's not just like fishing for Vivi comparisons that it hasn't earned. This Momo scene is top tier. This Momo scene is damn good. And like, it's just a damn good time, you know? It earns its place in that pantheon of iconic One Piece scenes. Like, it's fantastic. The Momo goodbye is so good in the end. And then, of course, you get the whole, they're sailing off the waterfall just to be dramatic. Just because Kid egged them on the wrong way. And then the story that takes this whole fucking arc full circle. I want to say it's been 4 years, right? Let me look up exactly when Wano started. Let me see, where can I find it? Here it is. Yeah, the first chapter was July 2nd, 2018. It has been over 4 years of Wano. Just over 4 years. 4 years and like a month and a half. And it's wild to say that we're at the end. You know? It's a damn good feeling. It is a damn good feeling to say this is the end of Wano, and it fucking hits. And it's an epilogue that stands among the series' best. That stands among things like the Alabasta arc in particular. Like it tries to be another Alabasta, and it works. It fucking works. Which is what you can say about all of Wano. It tries to be the series' biggest arc. And, like, while I have some issues here and there with, like, particular elements of Wano, I still think there was maybe a little bit too much going on in it, that maybe you could have cut some of the things in this arc. We didn't really need Marco to come back, for example. I don't care about Marco. All in all, it fucking hit. And when Wano worked, it was among the best stuff in one of the best manga of all time. And when Wano was a little weaker, it was fine. When Wano, a not great Wano chapter was still really good. But all in all, fucking Wano. And Wano's done. And I can't wait to see what comes next. So yeah, all in all, a great end to one of the best arcs in One Piece's long and storied history. So with that said, I'm going to leave this video off here. Hope you all enjoyed the chapter, and the video, and the arc for that matter, because what a ride. And if you did, feel free to drop me a like or subscribe, or, do whatever makes you happy, And as always, your life is your own, okay? Bye!